In this week's Tip Tuesday, I'm going to show you how to build a parallel coordinates plot. So what is a parallel coordinates plot? I've gone over to the DataViz catalog website, and on here they have a good description of what a parallel coordinates plot is. Well, first off, here's an example. You'll see there's multiple variables that they want to compare, and it looks like maybe they're different cars or something like that. And then down in here in the description, they say it's a type of visualization that's used for plotting multivariate numerical data. They're ideal for comparing many variables together and seeing the relationship between them. So for example, on the right-hand side, they have their anatomy. So that's basically how do you kind of create it. So you have your first variable, your second variable, your third variable, and then how does each item rank in each of those variables. So let's go ahead and build that in Tableau. I'm going to go ahead and connect to a data set with NBA statistics from 2018-19 season. Now, if you want this data set, all you need to do is you need to just download this workbook from the link in the description. And once you download it, you can unzip it. And when you unzip it, you'll see the data source in there. So you see we have the team name, how many games they played, their win percentage, how many points they averaged, field goals made, attempted, etc. So we're going to pick out some of those statistics and create a parallel coordinates plot based on that. All right. So the first thing we need to do is we need to pick our views. So I'm going to go ahead and put, let's start by just building out a table. So I have the team. I'm going to show you how this works. So I have, let's say we want to see which team scored the most points. All right, so we have that team, and the way you create the parallel coordinates view is to create a new calculated field, and I'm going to call this one points, and I'm going to say what is the team's points compared to the minimum number of points. Sum of points. And then what is that range? So that's going to tell you how far am I from the minimum. So in other words, the Atlanta Hawks have 113 if I sort this. So the Milwaukee Bucks have average 118 points. The Grizzlies averaged 103, so that'd be about 15. And then I'm going to divide that by the range in the number of points. So I'm going to do my window max of the sum of points minus the window min sum of points. Okay, and the bracket at the front. So that's going to give me the range. Hit OK. And let's put that in the view. And I'm going ahead and compute that by team. All right, so there we go. And let me go ahead and extend the range of or change the default number format. And let's go ahead and make it, let's do 4 decimals just so we can see the differences between them. There we go. So now you can see the Milwaukee Bucks are assigned 1. And the team at the bottom, the Memphis Grizzlies, are assigned 0, and then you can compare how each team falls within that range. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take points and just move it to the tooltip, and I'm going to take my new points calculated field and put that in the columns. Actually, I want to put that in the rows, and I'm going to move my team to the detail shelf. Okay, so now we can see all of the teams and where they rank here. And okay, so the next thing I want to do is create another metric. So let's say we want to use field goal percentage. So I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this calculation. And I'm going to call this field goal percentage. And instead of points, I'm just going to put FG%. Okay, and there we go. And I'm going to go ahead and drop that on top of the axis so that I get a combined axis view. And you'll see measure names pops up at the top. And I need to set my field goal percentage to compute by team name. All right, there we go. So I'm going to swap these around because I want points first. And I'm just going to set it to entire view for now and change my mark type to a line. So now you can see the Golden State Warriors. So let me go ahead and just show the highlighter here. The team with the Atlanta Hawks, for example, they averaged 113 points, and their field goal percentage was about 31%. Okay, very good. So, right, so let's keep going. So let's build some more. So we have, let's look at rebounds then. So let's duplicate this again and edit. And I'm just going to call this rebounds and REB, REB, REB. So once you get one of these built, it becomes much, much simpler. Hit OK. And now I want that to be my third metrics. And again, I want to compute using team. And now we could see them building out again. So if I choose the Atlanta Hawks, we could see they ranked about 2/3 of the way, or you could see percentage-wise. So they ranked about 67% along the scale. For field goals, they were pretty low, and then they jumped back up for rebounds. Okay. So we can also look at all the teams played the same number of games, so that's fine. Let's maybe look at 3-point percentage. So let's duplicate this one and edit. And I'm going to call this 3-point percentage. And this time I'm going to do 3p%. Let me just copy this. Okay. There we go. And let's put that in the view. And again, let's add this, compute this by team name. And we can continue to build out this view. So now let's look at free throw percentage. So let's duplicate that and choose free throw. Free throw percentage. And this time it'll just be FT. Okay, hit OK. And we can put that in the view and compute that by team. I'm going to put that actually up next to 3-point percentage, and I'm going to move rebounds to the bottom. All right, and I also want each of the metrics that they correspond to in the view. So I'm going to put 3-point percentage in the tooltip, free throw percentage, field goal percentage, and rebounds. So let's put those all in the tooltip, so that way we can see them in the tooltip when we're up there. Okay. So measure values, I don't want that. So you see down the bottom of my view here, points along team. So I don't want that to show up in my tooltip. So I'm just going to go ahead and go to measure values and uncheck include in tooltip. And there we go. So we have each of those values. So 3-point percentage, field goal percentage. I think all of these metrics I probably want to go ahead and so 3-point percentage, field goal percentage, free throw percentage. I'm going to default properties, number format. I'm going to set them to number with a 1 and just stick a % sign on the end because I believe those all were already multiplied by 100. And then points and rebounds. So where's points? Points and rebounds. I'm just going to set those to just 1 decimal. Okay. And there we go. So we have all of our variables like that. Okay. So what else could we do? So we have turnovers, steals. Let's do maybe a couple of defensive statistics. So let's, I'm just going to go ahead and duplicate that field. And let's call this one, or let's do one more. So assists. And this will be AST. So these are all offensive statistics at this point. Okay, and hit OK. And let's put that in the measures and compute using team name. And there we go. Okay, so let's just leave it like that for now. So I want to rename each of the aliases here. So I'm going to, actually I don't really need to worry about that. Okay, and then the last thing I want to do is I want to go ahead and put a line that connects these dots. So I'm going to duplicate this field. And on the measure values, on the measure names, I'm going to go ahead, measure values, I'm going to go ahead and put team on the path. And that's going to give me a straight line like that. And now if I make it, actually I want to go ahead and put some legends. So I want the top and the bottom numbers to show up there, show on my label. I want to go ahead and show my mark labels. I'm going to do it for the line ends. No, so sorry, the min and the max, there we go. And I want to do it automatic, that's okay. And now the values I want to have in there are, I want to have measure values onto the label. No, not measure values. I want to have the, let's see, so I want to have, I think if I put, let me put points onto the label. Yeah, okay, so that didn't quite work. So I want to put this on the label shelf. And yeah, okay, I'll figure out the labels later and put that in the final version. I don't want to waste a lot of time here. Okay, so let's go ahead and make this dual axis now and synchronize. All right, there we go. And on this second line, I'm just going to go ahead and make this one gray just so it's kind of in the background instead. And then I'm going to move the marks to the back. All right, so now we can see all of the lines on the front. And right, so now we have our labels, and we can, let's clean up our tooltips on everything. So tooltip, and my measure names is going to be, actually I don't want measure names there. I just want to have the team name. And let's make that a nice bigger font. And then I want to order these in the same way they're in the view. So points. And then we have field goal percentage, free throw percentage, rebounds, and then I want to do assists, which I didn't put in the view yet. So let's do that. And let's put assists into the tooltip. Okay, and then I'm just going to go ahead and copy that. And then do insert assists. Oh, that's annoying to me when it does that. So insert to change the font. Sum of assists. All right, and there we go. I'm going to uncheck those two options, hit OK, and now we can see the Milwaukee Bucks. What are each of theirs? Each of those metrics. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to do then is I'm going to go ahead and create a parameter because I want to be able to highlight a team. So create a parameter for the team. So that's fine. Let's hit OK. And show the parameter control. I'm going to get rid of my highlight. It's going to act like a highlighter on this sheet, but you'll see what I'm going to get to. So for now, I'm going to do this as a single value list so we can see it. And I want to say team highlighter, and then team equals team parameter, and put that on the color shelf just for the line. So team highlighter onto color. All right, and now, so we see we have a true false here. So where are my, right. Okay, so I need to fix all of my table calcs now. So edit this. I want to also do it by team highlighter. Edit team highlighter. Edit team highlighter. Which one am I in there? This one, team highlighter. Sorry, I just have to make sure it's at the lowest level of granularity. Okay, one more. Team highlighter. Okay, and now I just need to reverse these around. And that puts the orange to the front. Maybe I'll make this one blue and make this one, let's maybe make it a lighter gray. Okay, there we go. And now we can see the team that gets highlighted. And if I switch through, we could do something like that. Okay, now one of the cool things about this is I could put a parameter action, but I'll do that once we get into the dashboard. So I'm going to go ahead and format this view now to get rid of the zero lines. I'm going to get rid of my grid lines. I also want to get rid of my row and column dividers. All right, and then what I want to do now is, right, okay, so maybe on the ends of the lines, if I put measure names on there, okay, and wow, that looks pretty cool, doesn't it? So let's do line ends, and okay, so that's not quite working the way that I wanted. Let's see, okay, so let's undo that. And I'm going to go ahead and put it on label again. Sorry, this is taking me a bit long, I realize that. And what I want to do is I want to select the first one and do mark label, always show. And then check the bottom one. and then mark label always show. Okay, and now I need to rename these, so I'm going to edit the alias, call this one points, edit the alias, and call this one field goal percentage, edit this one, and free throw percentage, edit the alias 3-point percentage, oops, all right, edit the alias, rebound, and then edit the alias assist. All right, so now you can see we have that at the top and the bottom. I have another field on my tooltip here. Let's see, what is it here? So label, right, so I've got, for some reason, I've got these 1s and 0s on here. Oh, I'm on the wrong shelf, that's why. So let's go here. Okay, so measure names. Why is it showing me the 0 and the 1? Okay, so let's go in here, and all it is measure names. So let me go ahead and make that maybe 8 point and hit apply. And okay, so that's good. And min max, that looks good. Show mark labels. Oh, I see. It's because it's showing those as well. Okay, so let me. Right, again, I'll clean this up before I publish it, but you see we've got the, it'll say points up here and at the bottom and things like that, but I'll fix that before we publish. So the next thing I want to do is I want to have kind of big numbers for each of these. So I'm going to create a new sheet, and I want to put points in as a number. So what do we have? We have points, field goal percentage, free throw percentage. All right, so put those on top. Points, field goal percentage, free throw percentage. We have rebounds and a 3-point percentage. Oops, wrong one. 3-point percentage. Assists. And what was the last one? We have rebounds. So rebounds, let's put that in the middle. Okay, and I'm going to put the, let's just put those up here. And I'm going to put the team in the view. There we go. And what I want to do now is I'm going to make this all work with a parameter action when we get to it. All right, so now let's go ahead and throw in the dashboard. Right, let's see here. Okay, let's put team highlighter in the view as well. So let's go ahead and just throw it on color and put that there. And what I want to do is I'm going to move team highlighter to the rows. And I'm going to go ahead and hide the falses and move the team highlight to the detail shelf. All right, and now I can take team and uncheck show header. Lastly, what I'm going to do is I've got measure values there. I'm going to go ahead and put measure, sorry, let's cancel that. I need to also put measure names onto the text shelf. And now if I edit this, I can switch these around. And I want the numbers to be nice and big, so maybe we'll make those like 24 point, make it bold. All right, something like that. And okay, so now we'll just align them center and center. Go ahead and hide the measure names. And then just do a bit of formatting. So format, where are we looking here? Borders. And I'm going to get rid of the row dividers. Okay, and then lastly, I want to get rid of the tooltips as well. That way, when you hover over, you don't see anything. All right, I'm going to remove my highlighter so that it doesn't show up in the view, and hide my parameter highlighter. There we go, and then remove highlighter here. Okay, and then last thing is to go ahead and uncheck show header. And let's go back to a dashboard now, and let's set it up. I'm going to remove the phone view, and let's say I want to do it as so 675 so it fits on my screen. And first thing I'm going to do is put my big numbers in there. Actually, I want to stick a container in first, and put that inside the container, and then put sheet 1 below it. And that one's set to entire view. This one needs to also be set to entire view. Hide the title for each one of them. Okay, and let's just make this big now. There we go. Okay. Oh, last thing I forgot to do is I need to hide the headers for each of those. Okay, so last thing I want to do then is go ahead and show my use a parameter to update which team is highlighted. So let's go to a dashboard action, and let's change the parameter values. So let's say update team, and I want to do it on. Let's see. So we want the target parameter is our team name, and our team parameter team. I'll do it on hover. Hit OK, hit OK. And now when we go here, you can also see the metrics change at the top. So something like that. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to do is stick a title in here. I'm going to also put that inside the container. And I'm going to say something like, how does, and then insert the parameter, rank for 2018-19 NBA stats. All right, and then this one, I'm going to make it blue so that the user knows that it relates to the team that's highlighted. All right, parameter. All right, there we go. And actually, I want my team names to be in uppercase as well. So let's go ahead and create a calculated field. And let's call this upper team. And I'm just going to replace this with an upper function. All right. And I'm going to put that, let's see, so that's fine. And what I want to do now is I'm going to, every time I see the team, I want to swap it out. So I'm going to go to replace references, replace team with upper team, and everything should still work. So let's see, so San Antonio Spurs is 100 points, 107. Okay, there we go. So now if I change that, let me see here. So, I need to now change my parameter. Done. So let's edit this. And notice how my parameter is still built on I need to update my parameter. So clear all, add from field upper team. Okay, so now when I go into my dashboard, you'll see it update correctly. So come on. So dashboard actions, parameter, and the field is upper team. There we go. That should do it. Okay, there we go. And right, so now when you hover over a team, you'll see it update for each of their stats, so you can see where they rank. So again, that's called a parallel coordinates plot. I will, before I publish this, I will put the labels at the top and the bottom, like I was talking about. And yeah, that's it. If you have any questions, let me know. Have a good day.